He's kind of given us the lowdown of what we can expect from these two teams, but I just feel like there's something in the air today. Having just seen some of those results coming in from the elimination bracket, and you never know what could happen in this one.
You got to say, these brackets are spicy. I'm loving it. I think a lot of people who took a look at the brackets on Faceit maybe earlier today might have known that this is going to be maybe some interesting matchups, and we've actually seen more upsets than I would have expected here. BBG making their way into our elimination quarterfinals up against Sentinels.
We'll take a look at the maps and the game types we're going to be playing in our elimination quarterfinals. It is a best of 3. Starting off with some capture the flag on Bazaar, then we go over to Streets for some Slayer, and if we need to go to that game 3, it will be Oddball Recharge. Now, we just saw Sentinels lose that very, very close Slayer on Bazaar, but CTF is a slightly different proposition for both these teams.
Absolutely. We saw Sentinels win an OT Bazaar CTF earlier today. We'll have to see if they can repeat that here. I do want to say, of all game types for a map number 1 for BBG, this is not a terrible draw, right? Bazaar CTF, it's a pretty obnoxious game type. You have to be relentless. You need to be ready to slay multiple times. BBG might be able to take advantage of that, get the right picks, and get some flags moving.
Now they're going to have to take inspiration from the other results that have been coming in the bracket, where some of the huge teams like Optic Gaming have been knocked out by some of those lower seeded teams. But off the break here, it's going to be 2 dead here for BBG. And look how aggressive SnakeBite's getting already inside of the base, looking to get the first flagpole of the game.
Yeah, essentially 2 kills exchanged there, but SnakeBite, like you said, not afraid to get into the action. Even though they were in a 2v2 situation, he grapples right in, gets that early flagpole, but now looks for where those slays might need to come in. Mines picks up one with the rockets though on Formal.
Mine's now trying to push up, trying to be aggressive, and I like this. We heard from Lottie saying that she spoke to KingJay in Raleigh and saying they're an aggressive team. They like to go forward. They like to get in the faces of their opponents, and I kind of like that in an AM team. You know, they're not going to show any respect that's required to the players. They want to play their own game, and early on here we're seeing a little bit of a standoff between the two teams after that initial battle and that initial flagpole was exchanged between the two teams. But Formal here going to be able to work with the teammates to take down one. Nemassist is going to be dropping the Mangler, but so is Formal. He picks up 2, looking to make it 3, but Frosty will steal that one away at the last second.
I'm interested in there. Formal actually misses what looked like an intended clamber jump. He just goes front rockets instead. It works out really well because he's able to help out instrumentally in all 3 of those kills. Great work from Formal, and Sentinel's not done yet, picking up even more kills.
Kills starting to fall in the favor of Sentinels, who will be slightly aggrieved the fact that they are in the elimination bracket in the style that they were. Frosty picking up 2 is going to allow Formal now to move this flag towards the treehouse. You can already see in front of him as well, Andy. LethuL is in position to hold down that hut to block those spawns. So SnakeBite coming off the respawn here is going to be vital to the success of this cap. He'll be watching that overextension.
SnakeBite already picks up 1, knows exactly where he needs to be and what he needs to do to make sure that this flag does come home safely. Going to be bringing that in just a moment. Frosty also on the pillars, picking up a double. Sentinels will cap the flag and they will maintain control.
That was almost picture-perfect execution of how to cap on Bazaar there from Sentinels. Every single player did their job almost to a T. As Frosty looks to continue his run, Formal's going to use that distraction to move in on that overshield as well. Look at the 2 players just dispersing in front of him, leaving the door open for him to walk in. Frosty picks up another double here, and still with overshield in his hands, Formal's going to pick up the flag from the toss down from the stand. Frosty's going to be behind him, and BBG, well, they now currently aware they're in one heck of a game because they're already down 1. The kills are falling in the favor of Sentinels once more, and if Mines gets taken down here, this could be the second flag cap going into.
3 dead, 4 dead there. It's a double kill for Frosty as well. Just like you said, Onset, this is trial by fire coming from the hands of Sentinels. They will cap that second flag without a doubt, based on what we just saw on screen. And very rarely do you see the Sentinels as not only controlling the map and the flag runs, they're controlling their enemy's base as well. This is control on Bazaar like you almost never see it.
And this is what we talk about when we say the game is developing, the meta game is developing. Teams are starting to work out exactly where those power positions are, how to block spawns, how to influence spawns. All that stuff's starting to come together as Nemassist, unfortunately, falls to the floor after some combined team shot coming in from Sentinels. LethuL in a 1v1. He'll win that one down from the low ground onto Nebula. And with all those kills falling in succession here, it means that Frosty can now go back to his base to clear out this final player. He can get that return. He has the rocket launcher. He has the grapple. He's pretty much a toy store.
Look at that, gets the kill as well. The call out comes in. He's just grappling around, doing whatever he wants. Double kill on Nebula as well. Might turn 3 here. Killing spree, triple kill. And that 3rd flag is running as well. Might even push in on KingJay here with the slide. KingJay gets the better of him. But we talked about how Frosty wasn't in your top 5 at Raleigh on the slaying leaderboard. He is ready to put a stop to that conversation here. He's 19-3 in this game right now, on set.
19-3 is pretty ridiculous, to be honest with you, as SnakeBite now picks up 3 of his own. The 3rd flag will go in as well. So now Sentinels in what is very, very quick time here on Bazaar. Find themselves 3 to the good. 8 minutes remaining in the game. KingJay trying to get aggressive, but look at the fire that's coming in at the moment. It just seems like BBG have not been able to really get off spawn or get any semblance of control since this game has started.
KingJay, they're trying to make something happen with the cat ears there, not able to pull it off. Still 3-0. Got to point out, Frosty is 20-4. On the other side, the highest kills is 5 for KingJay. He has 4 times.
The highest kills on Sentinels, Andy, apart from Frosty, is 8.
Is 8. Frosty is I mean, how often do you see a player on the other side where the next closest is quadrupled by a player on the other side? Now 21-4, putting on a show. 4th flag is being run as well. And we talked about how BBG has earned their spot here in the bracket, but Sentinels is ready to send them packing if they keep playing this way.
Well, Nemassist has an opportunity maybe to slow this flag down at least. He has that Bulldog in his hands. His teammate Nebula is actually going to be there picking up that double kill. So that's going to be the flag potentially being returned, as Nebula will have the job of doing that. It'll be Nemassist's job, though, to move that flag across the map here. So Sentinels, for the first time, actually under a little bit of pressure here as that objective is moving to mid-map.
Absolutely now. Bring that flag across. Formal is ready for the stop, though. He will pick up that stop. He has some help on his BR as well. Needs to get this kill on Nem if he can. Has help from the tree, so that's solid. Right now, they might be able to get this stop, but good trade that comes in from Neb.
Frosty now up on the balcony, a couple of shots into the treehouse. KingJay going to be exchanging some shots, and KingJay going to be winning that battle as well, which might be somewhat of a confidence booster here, having just won that battle. Gets the touch on the flag as well. So BBG, if they could just put these final pieces together here, might be able to pull this flag back and make somewhat of a game of this. The flag is through the double doors. That usually means it's a good indication that flag will be put home. And with that being said, BBG do answer back if they get their first flag on the board here.
It was a 2v2 there in that situation. Neb wins a very pivotal battle at bottom rockets. That's what opened the way for that flag to come home. And we've been talking about the dominance. You can see it on the scoreboard, 23-7 now, Frosty, by the way, as we keep an eye on his outrageous kill count. But it's still a 2-flag game with 6 minutes left. So for all the talking that we've done here as the overshield is popping, still an interesting game here. And Built by Gamers, if they could turn this around completely, we'll have a game on our hands. And luckily gets the direct there, does Frosty with the second rocket. Otherwise, KingJay was about to grapple in for a very, very not so warm welcome.
Yeah, KingJay was almost in the Halo Infinite trailer. He would have managed to pull that one off. But KingJay now is going to be taken down for all of the good work that he just almost managed to pull off. The shots coming in from the Commando and the BR combined from SnakeBite. And now we're going to see Formal once again moving that flag. Frosty's going to have the grapple and the Bulldog, and already spotted that overextension. No one back in the base here, though, for Sentinels to slow that down. So Frosty now going to be the player, a little bit like SnakeBite was earlier, responsible for cleaning these players out, but he's been spotted out, and now he'll be taken down.
Interesting that Frosty went for the sneak there. He thought maybe he could just go sandbags and get the jump up to flag without being spotted, but as soon as it's spotted, it just totally neutralized his pushback.
One thing you're noticing a lot here as well is that it's not just the Mangler that's being dropped now by players, it's the Commando. The first shot's coming in, then immediately going for that weapon drop and swapping to the BR, just saving that extra second. And
look at this.
Oh my word, even though Frosty was going off and it was all looking like it was going to be over in the first few moments here, BBG have just put in their second cap of the game. It's now 3-2. It's just a one-cap game.
And what a strange series of events that we saw. This was complete dominance with outrageous numbers coming in from Frosty, and a 3-0 start here. Somehow it's 3-2 here, and we're learning a lot about both the resilience of BBG and maybe also the lack of mid-game composure from the Sentinel side, as by some act of God, this is a one-flag game.
Well, Frosty now looking to continue to pick up some kills, maybe clear out a little bit of space. They do have one player down, Nemassist, who's going to be coming off of the respawn. He's going to be met with a Mangler shot to the body and a little wave round the corner from Frosty. LethuL picks up one. Frosty slides out to finish off the damage that was done. He won't quite get the trade on that one. However, up in the bar, his teammate will pick it up. Nebula, last player alive here, immediately going for this overextension.
Flag is taken here for Neb, so needs to be careful, needs to stay alive in the back of the bar. This is a big moment for him as we see this flag going across, and these are big kills he needs to pick up.
Frosty does manage to survive for now. LethuL's going to pick up the overshield. However, the shots that are coming in from Nebula are going to make that one disappear extremely quickly. Mines picks up yet another kill. Nemassist now taking to the balcony. So although the first couple of caps that went in from Sentinels were great examples of almost perfect execution, you have to say they've been a bit sloppy on their last few pulls.
The flag gets returned there as well. Really surprising to see because Neb died on the Sentinels flag. I got to point this out. Nemassist is -6. Nebula's -6. Mine's right here at -9 and -4 for KingJay. And this is a one flag game. That doesn't make sense. This brings a lot of concerns about Sentinels' objective efficiency here, and also tells us that BBG's taking advantage of big openings that Sentinels is exposing themselves to.
Well, maybe there's only going to be one more opening. This game will be tied up, and that would be Sentinels pretty peed off with the situation, to be honest with you, considering they've had so many flag pulls, so many situations where they've had almost every single player on respawn. Why that flag is moving, and that is, like you say, objective efficiency, really something to be worried about here for Sentinels. However, with the rockets in the hands of Frosty and 3 kills also in the hands of Sentinels, this is an opportunity to move up and maybe make good on some of those mistakes that have come earlier on in this game.
First rocket doesn't go, second one does though for Frosty. Like you said, maybe this is a moment here for Sentinels to catch their breath because they had such a dominant opening, and I think it's the opening that we expected to see from this roster. It's probably some of the best starts to a game and actually some of the most dominant Bazaar play we've ever seen in competitive tournament play. KingJay there trying to hit the fancy back whack 360. LethuL not having any of that. 2 minutes 20. And right now, if Sentinels continues to play this exact way, they will close this out and be able to win the game 3-2, but we'll have to see if they could do it over the final 2 minutes.
The Mines needs to be taken down here very, very quickly, because then they can turn their attention to Sentinels, to those respawners. Mines is going to be taken down quickly. Now, can they stop that overextension? This has been the issue for pretty much every single flagpool since those first 2 that's come in for Sentinels. They've managed to get the flag out. They managed to pick up that initial 4 dead, but the overextension has not been picked up. Nemassist is going to pick up some kills, though, speaking of pickups. And speaking of pickups, make it 3. The overshield will complete the trio for him, and again, that flag not being converted there by Sentinels. It was the overextension into bar through the trench again that caused the problems, as Nemassist has caused some problems himself.
Man, lots to talk about there. Nemassist just holding court in the court with the Bulldog. They get the overshield, but you might have caught just there. He got green gunned out of hut, which is a big, big play from Sentinels. However, still Nebula running what could be the game time flag.
Be taken down almost immediately, though, by Frosty. Now, that flag won't progress too far out of that treehouse. You can see all the players from Sentinels coming off of respawn as well, moving to the tree to get that return. Frosty going to make sure that player KingJay doesn't manage to sneak behind enemy lines and stab them in the back a little bit later on in the game. Frosty doesn't get the kill that time, though, as he gets taken down and leaves a little shot grenade on the floor. The Dynamo going to do a little bit of tick damage, but Nebula will pick up that second one to do a little bit himself. But we are seeing BBG really grow back into this game, Andy. It was a hell of a start from Sentinels, but BBG is showing exactly why they're in this game.
Yeah, it's true now. Keeping an eye on the clock here. Only 48 seconds left. Formal does an absolutely incredible job staying alive on the pillars, gets to bottom mid, then is able to help with that triple team to stay alive. So really fighting their way out of a really disadvantageous situation. But Sentinels right now just going to hold mid-map. Only 35 seconds on the clock before they close this one out.
Frosty going to pick up 1. He's now on 32 kills for anyone who is keeping track in there.
My God.
Maybe just wondering how that kill tally is going to end up here for Frosty at the end of this game. Mines picked up 1. KingJay's in position, though, you can see, to get a flagpole here. Formal's going to be inside of the barb. He's going to be weak, and he's going to be met with a Bulldog as well. So the flag is going to be moving, and Sentinel's got to be very careful here as the double is now picked up by KingJay.
KingJay does everything he can. He picks up a double kill, and he starts the flag run here, so only 2 alive for Sentinels. We'll have to see how the numbers fall. 2 dead for also BBG. Make that 3 dead. That should shut down this run. KingJay doing everything he can at the end.
So death, though. Nemassist goes in, tries to get that touch at the end, but it's not going to happen. You can see the overtime timer slowly slipping through the fingers here of BBG, and it will be Sentinels who go up 1 in the series. But again, Sentinels with a hot start, but some slight cause for concern with that objective efficiency towards the end.
Frosty goes 33-15. And they win that game only 3-2. That is statistically one of the most ridiculous games we've ever seen in competitive play. Sentinels squeaks out a win, but I think, like we said during the game, that's a concerning win. You have to wonder what was going on in the mid game that they let all of that happen, and they only win that game by 1. We'll have to see exactly what game 2 has in store.
Well, it's going to be an interesting game 2 for sure, and it will be one that BBG will look to answer back to and maybe send us to that game 3. But we'll have a look at the stats. You can see the big damage being done by Frosty. And even though he put up 7k damage, which is, you know, let's not take anything away from that, super impressive, it wasn't like he was miles ahead of his teammates as well. Formal putting up 6.5k himself, so maybe Frosty just being in position to clean up a load of those kills that were being provided by his teammates.
Absolutely. Take a look at the kills and deaths as well, just to remind everyone just how alarming some of these numbers were. 33-15 from Frosty. Those are matchmaking numbers, however, not a matchmaking score on the final board that you'd expect from this team. Everyone going negative of varying degrees on the side of BBG, and they only lose the game by 1. So right now, Sentinels maybe has to do a little bit of looking at the drawing board to see exactly what they need to change up in terms of the way they play this game. We'll take a look at some highlights, though.
Well, it was the hottest of hot starts from Sentinels, answering back after being dropped down to this elimination bracket. Formal here, showing once again the ability to drop the weapon and how strong it is here in Halo Infinite, swapping over to that secondary to get that damage in as quickly as possible. And At the start of this game, a lot of the highlights would have been coming in from this man, Frosty, as he just picked up kill after kill after kill. And you can see exactly why as well. A lot of damage being done by his teammates. That actually reflected in those statistics. Frosty with just a 5 assists, but as you say, a lot of kills to go alongside that.
Absolutely. As we take a look at some of these flag runs here, 3-1, and it was Formal just trying to stay alive on the pillars, but got to give credit to Sentinels because that could have been a very different game. I mean, as you saw, that game actually could have ended, right? We could have seen the third flag coming in for the side of BBG. It could have gone to OT and Sentinels could have lost it. So we're giving Sentinels a lot of flack here in the final score and the fact that Frosty had so many kills, but I got to give them credit for closing it out the way they did. They will win that 3-2, and they're still up 1-0 in the series as we look to Streets.
Yeah, I think it's fair. You know, we're giving them flack, but it's because of the standards that we expect them to play at, right? It's easy to do. It's very rare that you actually get the opportunity a lot of the time to pick holes in any of the game that Sentinel put together. So if we see it, we're going to take that opportunity because we might not get to do it again for quite some time. But let's look at map 2 then. We're going over to Streets now for Slayer. And with the way that Frosty played in that last one, Andy, I wouldn't be surprised to see Sentinels close this out by 2-0 in the series.
I think that's exactly what they're going to look to do. Nice shots there. It's actually 2 kills coming in from the side of BBG off the opening. Make that 3 now, 3-0. So a very strong opening, very strong team shots coming in from BBG, and they'll also get rocket control.
LethuL manages to just about survive, as that wasn't the most accurate of rockets. That one's a little bit better. The battle rifle, old trusty, being pulled out there to finish off that kill. And a really, really great start here for BBG. 5-1. LethuL manages to pick up one just outside of PD though, and Nebula should be taken down here by a flanking Frosty to make the game a little bit closer. But this is where you got to be very careful for BBG. It's great to get that opening start, but then you can't start giving away silly deaths. Frosty wins the big 1v1. And if you give away those silly deaths, they can suddenly tally up. And the last thing you want to be doing on Slayer on Streets is getting put on those staggered spawns.
That's right. Very nice collapse. It's a 3-player collapse there on Arcade that's coming in from BBG. Very confident push as they're able to put 3 guns onto Formal inside of the Arcade. They just need to continue this conservative aggression. They'll be able to extend their lead 9-6 right now.
Frosty picks up another, though, that's going to close that gap even more. 2 kills now, the difference between the 2 teams. The Bulldog will be found by Frosty as well, which is going to give him that up close and personal advantage. Slides out towards Red Room here. Going to get a little bit of information as well. Manages to just about escape with a slither of health here as some kills are going to be exchanged. And it will be BBG, built by gamers, who seem to be getting the better of it. 10-7 now the score. That 3-kill difference has been there for quite some time.
A skip, a hop, and a jump from Frosty, and also Nemassist winning some battles there at the ball spawn as well. That'll extend the lead by just a bit. Nice push again. Once again, got to point out, BBG sending in at least 2 players on those collapses, whether it's back PD, whether it's in Arcade. They're not taking any chances. Don't just send 1 player against a player like LethuL or Formal. Send in 2. Make sure you get the kill, push together, and then collapse again. That's what they've done so far. That's why they lead here by just a few.
I think I managed to get the trade, at least in that situation. Formal trying to take down Mines. Mines actually going to be re-challenging here. It's a brave play, it's a confident play, and it's one that's going to cost him his life, as Formal does actually have the rocket launcher. And the last time we saw Formal with a rocket launcher in his hands, he was winning the series back in Raleigh. But that was some time ago now. He's going to have to put up something pretty similar here to get Sentinels back into this game. 11-14, still that 3-kill difference between the 2.
Interesting do-si-do between those 2 players as Formal actually scurries away, and he's very happy to leave the B stairs battle because those rockets were ticking. He checked his clock. He said, sorry, gotta go, grabs the rocks. He will get the kill, stay alive, then use the second rocket as well. And just like that, because of that play by Formal, we're tied up 14-14.
Formal should be able to pick up this kill on Nemassist as well, but Nemassist a little bit more slippery than Formal was expecting here. And oh my word,
he looked away.
Nemassist managed to survive. LethuL going to be dropping the drop wall, as 2 players have fallen on either side momentarily here. 16-16 the score, so still all tied up here. And all of a sudden, you're starting to feel the game start to slow down a little bit here, Andy. Both teams recognizing the situation where going into a lead here can put pressure onto their opposition, as we're going to see a couple of kills once again being traded. But as I say, not really traded, because Sentinels have managed to get a little bit of an advantage here. 2 kills to the good as we stand.
Yeah, they have control as well. They're just going to continue to hold this B Street. Mines not afraid to get aggressive here and try to take some angles with Neb, but I think we've all been there. Formal thinking he won that battle against KingJay on the B stairs, actually looked away and thought that he had already grabbed that one. It doesn't end up being the case, but still, regardless of that fact, Sentinels now on an absolute tear as they'll take the lead.
24-20. 3 dead here for BBG as well, so slightly concerning times for them as they will be coming off the respawn and aggressively pushing from PD up towards Arcade. 1 play in the tower as well. Great shots coming in from LethuL. SnakeBite doing a lot of damage as well with that Sentinel in his hands. Rocket's going to be popping up as well, so all of these kills which are falling time after time at the right times as well for Sentinels mean they're going to be able to get that next power weapon. And look at the score, how things have changed. 29 to 21. It only takes one wave of kills here for Sentinels to remind us just how dominant they can be.
Oh boy, a 3 dead once again. Little glance from SnakeBite, nothing too flashy, but he makes his point nonetheless. 31 to 22. It is a clinic from Sentinels. Amazing plays there from LethuL at top C balcony. Are you kidding me? Fade away off of C balc to isolate the angle to B pillars while like shooting through his team's armpit to pick up that kill. That opens up the gap. 31-22. Sentinels absolutely steamrolling now.
He's a braver man than I to investigate a teammate's armpit, especially you know, when we've all been to LANs. We all know how it can get.
Even worse, we've all seen what people play when they're playing online at home. It's a very dangerous situation.
It's very, very true. But Formal will be taken down here as BBG look to work their way back into a game. 32 to 26 the score at the moment. 3 players have fallen here as well. So if they can find those respawners, which are going to be called out here, Mines picks up the final kill on the last player who was alive that wasn't coming off the respawn for Sentinels. So BBG do have a semblance of control here. Assault rifle in their hands as well. A little bit of weaponry starting to fall into their hands. So maybe the score can start to turn around here as the push looks to be coming in on Neons. It's going to be SnakeBite who picks up that first kill. But Mines does a good job doing just make sure he gets that trade. But Frosty's there to pick up the kill.
Just like that, BBG answering back. And as we're talking about LethuL threading those needles, BBG getting some kills on the board, some big ones, but right away Sentinels answer back. And as this was a 4-kill game moments ago, just like that, back to a 6-kill game here now. As we take a look, 28-36, 8-kill game, excuse me, as we take a look across. And still BBG trying to stay alive in this game, but they're going to need to play some very, very coordinated and very good Halo to stay alive at the end of this game.
Mine's going to be have a 1v1 with SnakeBite here, but SnakeBite has the thrust, which means he can drop the elbow. Formal's going to be dropping the Bulldog and finishing things off with that battle rifle as well. So Sentinels starting to run away with this one a little bit now. 10 kills for them to close out this game and 20 for BBG to maybe send this to a game 3. But that's a big ask at this point. Just trades across the board here for Sentinels will get the job done.
Look at that. How obnoxious to play against Formal with that just ability to just continue peeking when he's no shields, and the confidence that he has against Nemassist. Finally, he'll get taken down from what looked like a Neon's push, but 40 to 32, 8-kill game. Rockets in the hands of BBG though, just like this, not over yet.
That's just to conserve the 2 rockets as well. However, that one's not going to connect as LethuL slides off the balcony. Stairs to make sure that he doesn't get in the range of that damage. LethuL with the double kill. Can he close that triple kill? Unfortunately not. Just didn't quite have the shields to work with there. And now we're going to see Formal trying to move up inside a tram here. Nemassist going to be in front of him. He'll be taken down as well. So even though Sentinels do have a healthy lead, it's starting to look a little bit more unhealthy here. SnakeBite has those rockets, has 1 rocket left in the chamber, standing up on top of the Bulldog spawn to see if he can get a little bit more of an extra angle. Gonna connect but not get the kill here. KingJay picks up 1, but with 3 kills to go here, Sentinels look like they're home and dry.
Yeah, really, they can make a very long series of mistakes here and still win this game. So Sentinels likely gonna just wait for the perfect opportunity to pick up number 48. Only 2 more to go.
SnakeBite going to be pushing on to KingJay as well. Good initial damage going to be done. KingJay will somehow survive and get that kill though. Mines will pick up another. So Frosty now kind of spinning around and thinking, what's going on here, boys? I thought we had this one in the bag. But Formal will pick up the final kill again to close things out here for Sentinels. They will win the series 2-0.
And a very interesting series that we saw, an interesting game too as well. BBG able to bring it back within reason, and not just that, start off the game with a very strong start, but it's Sentinels in the end that will close out the series.